Hello everyone, welcome back to Let's Play WazHack. First up, before we go any further, I feel like I should apologise for the lack of videos recently. It's kind of been beyond my control. It's a combination of a couple of factors. Firstly, I don't want to go into too much detail about what my day job is, because I still have some sense of privacy despite the existence of the internet. But suffice it to say that my job gets particularly busy during the summer months. So it's been a little hard to find the time and the energy. But in addition to that, I've been having some PC problems. I need a new motherboard and that kind of thing. I've managed to work around it to the extent that I'm actually able to record now. But it has affected my ability to actually play games on my desktop PC. So that has been an obstacle in recording videos. But here we are, with a bit more WazHack, continuing the adventures of Elena the Brilliant, our level 1 White Witch. And candidly, I remember absolutely nothing about what we were doing with this particular White Witch. So, let's have a look at what we've got on us, first of all. So we've got a wizard hat, which we're not using. Similarly, an opera cloak. It looks like neither of them have been identified, so that would probably be the reason. We don't know yet whether they're cursed. Small wooden shield similarly, but also we're using our staff as a weapon, which is a two-handed weapon, so a shield wouldn't be the best item to equip unless we know that there's a very good reason to do so. Green gems could be that sort of noxious gas, but we don't know. Basically, we don't know what any of the gems are. They could all be good, but we just have no clue at the moment. Unidentified potions, some scrolls of light, and it looks like we have a pretty good suite of spells. We have a wand of teleportation, which is always good to have. Bladed bow, I mean, frankly, we're probably not going to use bows. But the spell books look pretty promising. Let's see what sort of spells we actually have here. I think we have all of those memorised. 5 spells. So we've got 100% chance of casting lightning, which of course is the one we start off with. 100% teleport away. 100% absorb curse, which is kind of a mixed benefit. It does inflict a lot of damage on you, but at the same time it uncurses items. So it can be very useful if you use it carefully. Restorability, I don't think we often run across situations where that would be useful, but it doesn't hurt to have. And then a 42% chance of drain life, which is a reasonably good spell, but not a great one. And of course, with 42% cast chance, that's not going to be our go-to spell for anything. Looking at the mini-map, it looks like we've actually exhausted everything that's on this floor and the floor above. So it looks like we'll have to actually go up 2 floors. An acid blob. So we've actually rotted our staff there, which is not what we wanted to do. I carelessly just charged into the blob, so we better hit it with magic. We've also got this rat here, which is going to need dealing with. Our White Witch, I remember, has no pet because it died or got lost or something early on. So that's kind of a problem. We're going to have to keep blasting the rat here. And it's probably worth us having a rest before we go any further. I'm actually not too worried about our staff rotting because we're probably not going to do that much melee stuff anyway. And hopefully we might actually... Oh, weak from hunger, that's not great. Hopefully we might actually find some wooden swords or something like that at some point. Okay, let's eat some stuff. Oh dear, we're really struggling for food. We don't have any food lying on the floor, just the stuff we're carrying. That's problematic. So I'm going to have to eat a pear and a carrot. I'm going to save the remaining carrot because, as you may be aware if you've watched many of these videos, carrots cure blindness. So I like to have at least one in stock. We will use lightning here. And hope that one of these enemies actually has meat. Okay, we're out of mana, that's an issue. Let's throw some of our unknown potions at this goblin here. I think we missed him with that one. Potion of extra healing is definitely not what I was looking to throw at the goblin. I mean, of course we know now that that's what it is, so that's advantageous, but we really didn't want to heal that guy. And more potions of healing. Okay, do we have any useful scrolls? Not really. So, it's going to come down to melee because we have no magic left. And if necessary, we can use the Wand of Teleportation to get out of here. But that would be kind of a waste of that particular wand. Wow, I think we're going to actually have to do that. And a kobold. Can we use it on the kobold? I think we probably can, yeah. And have a bit of a rest. Okay, there's a rat coming down. Hopefully we can melee the rat at least. Tell me you can beat a rat with a big stick. Even I can beat a rat with a big stick. Any meat? Bit of meat. Let's eat that. And a bat. Bats can be an issue, but I think we're coping. Okay. Incidentally, on a tangential note, I have been working on my top 10 list of roguelikes. You might remember around August, September time last year, I did top 10 roguelikes ever. And I'm planning on revisiting that each year, at least when the list has actually changed. By my reckoning, about maybe 3 or 4 remain from last year's list. So there's a lot of change, and I've been working on the shortlist and getting the top 10 finalised. So expect to see that in the next probably week, maybe 2 weeks. But also I was on another episode of the Roguelike Radio podcast. If you don't usually listen to Roguelike Radio, I recommend it, roguelikeradio.com. And this will be something like my 3rd or 4th appearance. The episode isn't up yet, but it is recorded, so watch out for that coming soon. With me talking about roguelikes. Actually, the episode is answering questions that were submitted on Reddit. So that's actually a different format to usual, but definitely worth watching. There's me and a couple of other people on it as well. Definitely worth a listen. Anyway, let's try and finish off this bat. We're very low on both health and magic, so hopefully we'll have time to actually have a rest here. We've been struggling to rest because enemies keep charging in. There's another one. We've got a bit of health and a bit of magic. Hopefully that... No, we don't have enough magic for lightning. This is going to be kind of an issue. We don't really have any wands, just the teleportation wand. So, let me just think about this for a second. I'm going to have a look at all the stuff we have. The gems could be useful, but of course it will pass time to throw a gem and see whether it has any effect. We don't have enough MP left to use the spells, and the only wand we have is teleportation. So it looks like probably the best play at this point. Well, let's see first whether we do have any spells which we have enough mana to cast. It doesn't tell you, which is slightly irritating. Teleport away could work. Okay, let's try casting teleport away. We do have enough MP for it. So I'll teleport that kobold. Now I'll try meleeing this goblin. I'm not optimistic. If it starts to go bad, because we have basically no other options, I might have to use the Wand of Teleport to get rid of it. If that does happen, so be it. I mean, it's not ideal, but as Kawa, Kawaii Dragoness, who is another roguelike Let's Player, as she likes to say, it's better in a roguelike to be alive and have no stuff than to be dead and have all your wands and potions and everything. So, better to use up the Wand of Teleportation than to die. First, let's see how far we get with melee. You never know, we might get lucky. That is, lucky with hits, not, get lucky, wink wink. Okay, so we did in fact get lucky. We'll take the clear gem. Don't need any of the other stuff. And we'll see if anyone has any meat. No meat. Bat? No meat. So I'll have a quick sleep. Okay, Goblin is back. Same plan. Try meleeing it. and if necessary, teleport it away. Looks like it's going to be necessary. Okay, yeah. We have basically one hit left. I don't think we can survive more than one hit here. So let's teleport him away and have a rest. We're weak from hunger, but all we can do is eat this one remaining carrot. That is probably the same goblin, judging by the fact that he's clutching a sickle. So again, try to melee him. Okay, not working. We have a bit of mana left, so let's try. Probably should have tried this first, actually. Let's try lightning. Okay, it worked. And our level up actually gave us some health and some mana. So, what talent do we want to get with our level up? We need to take another level 1 before we can continue leveling either of these. So, literacy might be good if we find more spell books, but we're actually doing okay on spells, so that's not so much of a priority. The fact that we're struggling with food so much tempts me to take gastronomy, but that only gives us 10% more flesh, which isn't a huge difference. Faster health recovery might be worth taking. Or commerce for shops. I'm going to say, I'm torn between these two, and I'm going to say, although it's only 10%, I'm going to take a level of gastronomy, in the hope that we might actually be able to overcome our food problems here. I mean, we don't want to starve to death if we can possibly avoid it. We're already weak from hunger. I'm going to go up this ladder, because in theory, the enemies we encounter upwards should be less dangerous than the ones we encounter further down. Any meat on this jackal? Yes! Eat the jackal meat! Okay, our stomach's content. We're not hungry anymore. For now. We've got a magenta spellbook, so I might as well read that now. You learn Create Monster. I don't want Create Monster, so I will drop the spellbook, not bothered about hanging on to that, and try to take out this goblin here. Any meat on the goblin? No meat on the goblin. And in fact, we have no food at all, so we probably... rat. Kill the rat. Kill the rat. There we go. Meat? No meat. Yeah, we've no food at all. Not only no food on the ground, but no food in our pocket either. So we really need to deal with the potential hunger issues here. Let's see if there's anything in the chest. Coins, gem, lockpick, opal ring. It would be nice, of course, to identify the opal ring, but we might have to wait on that front. We're not dangerously hungry at the moment. It's one of the things in roguelikes. A point I heard made accurately on the Like Light podcast only recently, relatively recently, which was that in many roguelikes, hunger is a resource. The natural instinct of people who are accustomed to other kinds of games is, oh god, I'm hungry, I need to eat some food. But actually in most roguelikes that use a hunger system, there is a degree of hunger which is acceptable. It's entirely okay to run around in a state of hunger, because it's not actually an imminent threat, you know? Okay, let's see what other spell. No, it's going to have to be lightning, really. Yeah, it's entirely okay to run around in a state of hunger, and you sort of manage the demands of hunger in the same way that you would manage something like health or magic. So I'm not too worried that we're a bit hungry here, but I will eat the innards since they rot away quickly. Okay, let's press on over here. Definitely going to magic an acid blob. Another acid blob has already ruined my staff. I don't really want to further ruin my staff. The gas spore needs taking out. I'll use magic, but then we're down to almost no mana, so I'll have a bit of a rest, which will probably make us hungry before long. Kobold's coming up. Can I lightning him? I can. Okay, and a bit more of a rest. Okay, so now we're again in a position where we have to face a kobold. We have no spells. I think we have no potions. Yeah. So the only thing we have is this wand of teleportation. And actually, for all we know, it might have no charges left. which is kind of an issue. So we're going to have to try meleeing it. If melee doesn't go well, we'll try this wand. And if that doesn't work either, then basically we're screwed. We have no way to get out of it. We only have scrolls of light. So this could actually be the game-ending combat right here. It depends on how it goes. Let's give it a try. Hopefully if we win it will... I was going to say hopefully if we win it'll drop some food. I accidentally picked up a load of extra crap there, so just chuck that on the floor. We don't have a scroll of identify at the moment, which is definitely a problem. Basically I'm going to eat both of these things, just in the name of not starving to death. I'm going to avoid this little tunnel because I want nothing to do with anything that comes out of there. We're in such a weak position so far that I really don't want to deal with the hordes of enemies that would come out of... Oh, shitting hell. Okay. We're going to have to teleport something away, so teleport the bat. That teleported it across the room. And the teleport wand is out of charges. We're done. I'll have a quick look through our inventory here just in case something jumps out at me. But as far as I can see, basically we're finished. We don't have any potions which can restore us. We don't have any scrolls that can either restore us or get us out of it. We don't have enough mana to cast spells. We don't have enough health to survive another hit. Yeah, we're done. So all I can do at this point is try to cast something. Let's try casting Teleport Away. No, not enough mana. So we're finished. There we go. So let's have a look at what we were carrying. Okay. We were carrying lots of worthless glass. The other things were actually gems, but none of them were anything like frost stones or fire stones, which might actually have had a practical use in combat. I don't think the hat, the cloak, or the shield would have made a difference there. Oil lamp is just an oil lamp. Ring of fire resistance wouldn't have helped with the wind. Yeah. I feel comfortable that there was really nothing else we could have done there to get out of that situation. Elena the Brilliant was in a tough set of circumstances, and there wasn't really a lot she could do to get out of it. So, let's start over, shall we? Who shall we take the next time? I'm tempted to take a class I don't use very often. A couple of people have recommended the Bard, and I will think about the Bard for a future run. I'm not comfortable enough with using it. You know what? Let's do it. Let's be reckless. Let's use the Bard. I'd better adjust his stats. I'm told that you can make him a perfectly adequate melee character, if you're so inclined. So let's build towards that, and then just take his bardic skills as an extra. That's about the best we can do, really. We can't increase his constitution. Constitution of 9 is poor, but it won't let me increase that at all. So, Andrules the Dissonant. Dissonant probably isn't a quality you look for in a bard, and an unpronounceable name probably also is another quality that you don't look for in a bard. But never mind, let's press on. While seeking your muse, your travels bring you to the legendary dungeons of WazHack. Oh, that reminds me, actually, reading things in that voice. I've been thinking about... This will probably sound ridiculous, but I've been thinking about reading some of my short stories and flash fiction in videos, just for people to, listen to and that kind of thing. Some people like the stuff I write. So if that's something that appeals to you, and of course I would be reading it in a serious story-reading voice like this, then let me know in the comments, and maybe it's something I'll actually do. But anyway, for now, we just have the Bard. Oh, if you're curious about the kind of stuff I write, if you look at the playlist for my 7-day roguelike entry this year, I did a devlog for that. And the first video is me reading a lot of the world creation stuff I did for it. So that should give you an idea of the kind of stuff I write, or the tone of it, anyway. So, let's have a look. We've got a feathered hat, black boots, leather tunic, a quill, and a lute of charming. Now, anyone who's watched me trying to play a bard in this before will know that I don't really get how bards work. Your loot automatically charms enemies, but then eventually it wears off and they kill you. So, my thinking at the moment is actually to just... Let's have a look at this stuff. Yeah, okay. Basically, just to wield some normal weapons and resort to being a bard when necessary, as it were, when it becomes practical to do so. So, let's have a read of this scroll. It could be an identify, in which case, I guess I'll identify this sword I'm wielding. Cursed Scroll of Light, so it's made everything dark, but never mind, could be worse. The bard seems to be doing okay as a melee character. Certainly I've seen worse. I'll eat the sewer rat meat, take the potion. Yeah. I feel like this is a sound enough plan, at least in the early game. If we take the bard as a melee character, and then later on, hopefully when we discover some of the nuances of the bard, and maybe we're a bit stronger and more able to survive attacks, then start dabbling a bit more in bardic skills. But until then, basically treat the bard as though he's a knight or something like that. I think we had fairly high intelligence. Did we? Intelligence 17, yeah. So we might even be okay trying to learn spells. So let's have a read of this book. You learn jumping. Jumping is one of my least favourite spells in WazHack. It's almost useless. There are probably some specific uses for it, but for the most part, I find it not particularly useful. I'll take all of this stuff. I'm a bit suspicious of the spectacles. They're probably cursed, but that selection of items in general has the potential to be pretty good. Lots of scrolls as well. I mean, that's a good situation to be in the early game, finding plenty of scrolls. Enchanting our weapon is pretty good. It's not going to be a game changer, but it's a solid thing to find early on. And particularly with a character like this who is, or at least seems to be, not really designed to be a combat character. It's good to have something that bumps up your combat capacity a little bit. Create monster isn't great, but at least it was only a rat. I'll ignore the fountain, take the money and the mushrooms. Maybe we might get the chance to use the mushrooms later on, but for now we don't really have that option. There aren't enough of them. We need something in the 18 to 20 range, I think. And then you drop them on the floor and you summon some magical entity. But for now we only have 7. But I feel like we're doing okay so far. I certainly don't feel like we're doing substantially worse than the Knight or the Valkyrie usually do. And of course we do have the backup plan of being able to fall back on our sort of charming guitar, if that arises. Okay, that was a Scroll of Teleportation. The other one we have is Cursed, which of course isn't ideal. But at least we know we do have some degree of teleport option if necessary. Kill the goblin first, hopefully. Wow. This is actually becoming an issue. At this point, I might have to resort to the loot of charming here. You may want to actually get your loot out. No? Okay. Oh, apparently we have to press V to play music. Well, that was slightly awkward. But this is exactly why I'm reluctant to play the bard, because I didn't really understand how he works. But anyway, I think that will do for today. We saw the death of a witch and the death of a bard, so it's been a pretty grisly, morbid episode. But we're getting to 20 plus minutes, so let's leave it there for today. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being patient while I've been unable to record more videos. Rejoin me the next time when we'll do more WazHack, we'll do some more Barony, and of course my top 10 roguelikes for this year is coming up. I've also got a couple of reviews lined up of some games on Steam and other places, which I think are either worth checking out or horrendously not worth checking out, which are the circumstances under which I bother to review things. Anyway, the point is, come back, there'll be more videos. So anyway, thanks for watching, and until the next time, bye for now.